So we brought Scott way up there and then had him shut his motor off. So we're doing an emergency simulation like the motor quit. Everybody always says, whatever the motor quits, we die. Now, we just float down, so we want to get him used to a motor out situation. So he's got to hit the field now. And what I have him do is I have him trace the perimeter of the field once they get down low. Just keep tracing the perimeter of the field. Now we're going to trace inside the perimeter of the field. And the nice thing about a trike is you can land in any direction, even if there's wind, you can land a trike. You don't have that advantage with a foot launch. You land with a nice tailwind, keep staying inside the perimeter. You want to go near my trees. You know how I like my trees. All right, once you got plenty of field ahead of you, straighten it out, bring it in for the landing, and do a landing now. Don't be turning. That's your last final, and then land it yourself. Beautiful landing. Look up at your glider, lay it off to one side, and that was an emergency landing. That's all there is to it. Everybody fears having a motor out. I even saw one guy post a video, I had a motor out at 13,000 feet, and he's got a scared look on his face, and it was a clicking bait. And like, why is that a clickbait? Why would you think that's a clickbait for your video? Oh, motor out at 13,000 feet. Oh my God, 13,000 feet. What does that mean? It means I've got a long wait before I come down to the ground and have to land it softly, because that's all it is in powered paragliding. It didn't even make sense. The clickbait on that one didn't even make sense. It was so stupid. But anyways, there's nothing. If the motor quits, we don't try to restart. You have to think about this. If you have a motor out and it was, let's say you're cruising along and you're at 2,000 RPM and your motor quits, it's shut off for a reason. What makes you think your 175 RPM pull or your 175 RPM electric start's going to restart it? If it already shut off at 2,000 RPM, why do you think you're wasting your time? Just set up. You always want to fly where there's a place to land, so you don't have to be like the idiots smashing into the sides of caverns, coming down on rocks, flying low and going into rivers, hitting power lines. And you don't have to do that. You can have a place to land every time. You don't have to drown out in the water like some of these numbnuts do. You just don't have to do that. You can always leave yourself a place to land and always be safe. But a motor out is nothing. You glide down, you land. But don't try to restart, because you're wasting time. When you take your hands off the steering on a motor out, if you're a bit lower, you better just stay on it. Or even if you're higher, it doesn't matter. It's not going to restart. You're flying away from your field. You're flying away from where you would land. Whether you take your hand off to press the starter button or whether you take your hand off to reach back and pull, you're still wasting your time because you're flying away. That's valuable time. Just bring it in. Bringing it for landing. And obviously, the higher you are, the more forgiveness you got. You got plenty of time to set up for that landing, or pick that field, or pick that field, or pick that field. It gives you opportunities to just land just about anywhere. It gives you time. It takes a while, as you can see. You didn't even see how high he was when I shut it off. I mean, he was up well over a half a mile up, maybe even, yeah, he's probably close to almost, I would say, what would you say? That's way more than a half a mile up there when he was at his highest. But we didn't get him till he got down here, so it would show up in the film anyways. But all I wanted him to do was experience that. And we do little things here from time to time to give a guy an experience so he knows what it's like when it happens. He doesn't panic and he doesn't go into a freak out. So anyway, Scott Siegelman did a great job. Him and Dan. Das ist mein Speed. Right here. Das ist mein Speed! We love these guys. Him and Karina have been staying with me. We got to be very close, and brothers in Christ and dear friends. I love them. Hope you get to meet them. Some fly in. We're going to haul him in from Jersey when he's over there. From Sweden. She's first generation, and they're fishermen, commercial fishermen, and got the big nets and the big boats and the whole deal. And I'm going on that boat because he promised me.
Bring it on.
I asked him, I said, when he bought his equipment, I says, when you get this, here's the part of the deal. Here's this price, but it also includes that I get 2 days of you grunting me around that ship and just treating me like crap and yelling at me like a captain on a boat, making me haul in nets, do this, do that. And he said, okay. And I'm going to be doing that. Hopefully I'll do it this sometime over this winter. I'll shoot up from Florida and make a nice weekend out of it. And well, there's Scott. He's coming back. You can tell he's much happier. Good job. What's that?
I'm waiting.
Yeah, it's free labor too. But I've always wanted to do that. I love fishing. My dad took me down to Costa Rica when I was a kid. My dad had a a cabin on an island up in Canada that we went to way up in McGregor Bay, and we'd go up there and spend the summers up there. It was 25 minutes, 30 minutes in a boat just to get to the island, and it was way up on a cliff in the rocks, and the northern pike, you could cast a lure in there and a northern pike could come out of the water, grab that thing before it even hit the water. We saw that so many times, and the water would be still, and we'd cast by a weed bed, and while that lure was getting ready to land, boom. I love fishing. And when I do it down in Florida too, I love to go out deep sea fishing, but to be on a commercial boat like that, I've always wondered what that would be like, and I've dreamt of it, literally, when I was a kid. I just want to look at that. I'd watch it on TV, and I'd go, man, look at that. Look at all them fish. And you'd think he'd be sick of fish, but he eats it all the time over here. It's crazy. Das ist mein Speed! Here he is from that motor out situation. We're just explaining why we do that to.
Oh man, that was just so awesome.
You really like that, huh?
Oh man, you have no idea. That was like, I was close to heaven, you know. It was like, and then when you cut the motor off and come in.
Were you nervous when I had you cut it off?
Yes.
All right. Well, good.
And I was nervous, and I said, wait a minute, if I cut it off, then I have to come and land it.
Right.
So it's like, well, you know, I'm just going to trust you. I turn it off. I'm like 1,000,000 feet in the air, and then the landing was easy. All it was staying in the field.
Yeah, that silence. Yeah, everybody fears the landing, and we'll turn this into a video so you can watch it. But you did good, and he was way up there. He was definitely over a half a mile up. I mean, he was way up there, and I like to do that just to get them used to it. They don't panic when the real deal happens, and the number one reason you're going to have a motor out on one of our units, because we've got a little bit more dependability than some of what's being flown out there, is they forget to put fuel in it. They don't check the fuel. Like the other day, he was all the way down about 2 inches of fuel, and somebody else noticed it. So I mean, and so a lot of guys have a motor out almost every year at a fly-in. Somebody is out there, and we have to go pick them up because they ran out of fuel. And another thing that I have about learning your burn rate is on my website. So in our syllabus and in our ground schooling, we teach so many different subjects that a lot of people just don't touch on, and then they're kind of not prepared for it. And then when they come out here, we take everything in baby steps and get them prepared for, you know, stuff. I have their hands go off. I have them take their feet down. I have them shut their eyes. I have them shut the motor off and do emergency landings, taxiing and stuff. We want to get them prepared for just anything. So when they leave here, they can go home and feel confident enough to get in there and not have an issue. But guys, thanks for joining me. Scott, good job, man.
Thank you.
Touching.
It's like, one of the things that's so awesome is it's quiet and the motor's not moving. So all you are is like, you don't even feel any rumbling. You're just sort of floating in the whole way.
Like a dream.
Yeah.
It really is. It's almost surrealistic. Swede, what do you think? You want to go up and do it?
You're going to put me through it too.
Yeah, you want to do it on the next one? We'll put you up too. We'll just go way up there for a high flight. Shut that sucker off.
Whatever you think.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, we're going to have a good time. God bless you guys.